sneaking in women's locker rooms and checking them out while they're dressing. There we go. All right, this will never be accepted, but why do women still demand it? You know, many times I've talked about women's demands for the perfect man. And this is an ongoing thing. It's not like this is a revelation. You're not going to be like, oh my God, I never knew this. But not only is it continuing, but it's getting worse. Women want, as we've joked about many times, all the sixes. Just in the course of me doing these videos, just in the course of me doing better Bachelor content, it's gone from wanting all the sixes to wanting sevens. But what happens when women are not able to, find that in one man anymore? Well, they either cheat on the man that they have, they all sleep with the same men, hypergamy, that kind of thing, or they determine they need multiple men to get the job filled. And that men should be happy. Men should accept this because they're lucky enough to get to share a great, wonderful woman amongst many of them that are not worthy of her greatness. So we will jump into that. Before we do, let me give a little bit of love to today's sponsor. Once again, it is the Wellness Company. And this is probably the best news for all of you guys that, like me, I don't work for a company, right? I don't have a company. So if I need insurance, I have to get it through Obamacare or the internet, and it's $1,200 a month for me, plus like something like a $6,000 or $8,000 deductible, which means if I pay the $1,200 a month for a year, that's $14,000, $14,400. And then there's another $6,000 deductible, which means I'd be out of pocket $20,000 before the insurance helps me. Well, they have a new program. They have a little clip they'd like me to play for you. I will play it for you, and I will talk underneath it. We've all felt the stress of rising costs, but one of the worst offenders isn't gas or groceries. It's healthcare. Health insurance premiums alone have increased 47% over the last 10 years as per KFF.org. So ask yourself, is your money being optimized? Are your doctors following traditional sick care models? At the Wellness Company, they take a different path. They blend holistic, naturalistic, and preventative medicine while cutting out the middlemen and government bureaucrats. That's how they created the One Wellness Elite membership. This is healthcare for the modern era. Not only for $100 a month, not only do you get 2 free medical grade neuroceutical prescriptions per month, you get free prescriptions on over 800 of the most common medications. You get access to concierge telemedicine available at a moment's notice, which is also free, no additional charge. Plus, take an additional 15% off all supplements or emergency kits. There's no hidden trickery or fine print in what I just said. What are your expenses per month between supplements, prescriptions, doctor's visits, and insurance? If it's $100 or more, you should consider the One Wellness Elite membership. It's care you'll actually use every month and save money along the way. It's not insurance. It's WellCare. Not welfare, you cheapos. WellCare. To learn more about this incredible membership, twc.health/OneWellness. And this is the page you'll see when you go there. And use promo code OddmanOut. One Wellness is the way. Check it out today. So go check it out. All right, now back to me. This is from October 16th of 2024, just yesterday. And we're still here. Nothing is changing. Nothing has changed. I'm a single date. I'm giving dating apps another try as a single mom. Men are interested in open relationships are a green flag. Now, why are men interested in open relationships? This is why. Because they are top tier men. The only men that are interested, well, let me correct that. The only men interested in open relationships are top tier men that just want to use you to shag occasionally and have you on standby. And you know, because they've got a plethora of other women to choose from. The other men that are willing for open relationships are bottom tier men that will literally do anything just to be able to touch a woman. So you're really looking at like the top 5, maybe 10% of men, and you're looking at probably the bottom 10 to 15% of men, those two groups, because any other man would say, there's no way I'm going to get a bunch of women. Like I'm not good enough to get a bunch of women. So I want to find one good one. Or the bottom men that are, because they're the guys saying, I'm not even good enough for one woman, but maybe if she lets me, I'd pay her bills and live in a commune with 4 other losers, maybe, and she's fat and smelly and has blue hair, maybe she'll allow me to touch her once in a while because I buy her, I don't know, I pay for her rent or something. So this chick, she's a single mom. She's not very attractive. I'm sorry if you think I'm being harsh, but she's not. And so she wants, so why does she want? Let's read why she needs an open relationship. The first time I dated a non-monogamous man was in 2012. That lasted a year and a half until I met someone else and transitioned into a more traditional monogamous relationship that lasted 5 years. In hindsight, the earlier relationship was undoubtedly the healthiest I've ever experienced. Contrary to what some people assume about non-monogamy, it's not just about the sex. I've found that open relationships only work if they're based on complete trust, honesty, and great communication. Okay, but you can have a completely monogamous one-on-one relationship that has complete trust, honesty, and great communication. But she's not interested in that. So I don't think that's really the case. But this is from 2020, from years ago, why women are suggesting, or why more women are suggesting open relationships. And of course, here you see one woman with two dudes. It's not that women are suggesting open relationships so the guy has 4 women and she's one of them and she has no men. That's never the way this goes. Never the way it goes. It's I'm a woman who's so special. I deserve all the things. I want a sensitive man. I want an athletic man. Before a work trip a few years ago, Chloe hinted to her husband she wanted to have sex with somebody else. Well, there you go. Now, what if you're the husband in that case? You have 2 options. Yes or no. Yes, great. Now she's going to be hooking up with she's not attracted to you, obviously. So she's going to be giving the best part of what you want out of a woman to somebody else. That automatically puts you in the beta. And if you say no, she can just say, all right, well, then I'll just divorce you. I'll go sleep with him anyway. Or I'll cheat on you. I just won't tell you about it. Step out on you anyway. And then if you want a divorce, I'll take half your shit and I'll take the kids, or I'll get the kids custody, and then you're going to have to pay me. It is a lose-lose for men in this situation. And then you get the types, the alpha Chad dude bros that are red pill content creators that are actually like these dating coaches and these other guys that say, well, dude, you have to be so alpha to win her admiration, and you have to be up here. Do you know how tiring that is? Do you know how exhausting it is to always be playing game even on your wife? Like, who wants to do that? Give me a break. She said, while she didn't have a particular person in mind, it's been a fantasy of hers for a while. Okay, number 1, she did have a person in mind. She's lying. She did have a person in mind. Number 2, she lost attraction for her husband, which happens a lot of times. Far from dismissing it, her husband suggested she go for it. And that is a beta male. That is beta. We know it. He knows it. She's married to a cuck. Or a dude that's like, you know what? I'm so tired of her shit. Go ahead, sleep with somebody else. I don't even care. I'm not attracted to you either. I'm just in the relationship so I don't lose half my crap when you divorce me. That's really where this is. That didn't eventuate, but the couple officially began a non-monogamous relationship earlier this year. An old friend had called Chloe to wish her happy birthday, and they ended up catching up and sleeping together. Okay, that guy's an orbiter, and that's probably who she was thinking of when she told her husband, I think I want to sleep with other people. It was very intense. It was the first time I had sex with anyone aside my husband in 10 years. Since then, Chloe and her husbands dated and slept with other people. The only way people traditionally have thought about having feelings for others or sleeping with someone other than their primary partner is betrayal, or it's a sign that something's gone terribly wrong. But Chloe doesn't feel that way. Of course she doesn't. And it's women leading this relationship revolution, explains author and social researcher Wendy Martin. The more empowered, that's feminism, women become, the more you will see women saying, I'm done with monogamy. And the more you're going to see men saying, I'm done with marriage. I'm done with serious relationships. I'm not going to give you a home. I'm not going to give you children. I'm not going to give you my money. I'm not going to help you buy a car. I'm not going to be anything serious with you. I'm not going to give you my heart, my love, my attention if you want to sleep around. You're empowered. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to use you as physical gratification to satisfy myself here and now. And when you want more, my answer will be no. Go find another man, because apparently that's what you want anyway. Now, as always, I say this caveat, there's a lot of women that do not want this. But here's the challenge. When so many women right now do want this, what are the odds that in 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 years, it gains momentum on social media, it gains popularity, and your wife or whoever you've married that didn't want it at the time changes her mind and says, actually, I kind of do want this. And it's too late for you because she said, this was the first time I'd done anything with, aside from my husband in 10 years. Could she be lying? Yes. Could she have cheated or snuck around behind his back? Yes. But even if she didn't, you can't predict what your relationship's going to be like 10 years in the future. And that's why a lot of men are not getting married today, because they know divorce is likely, or getting cheated on is likely, or something else bad happening is likely. Women will ruin they'll ruin the sanctity of marriage. They're getting so bad now that guys don't even want to have a girlfriend they love because they see how many women cheat and how many women lie. And so they don't even want to open up their heart. They don't want to love. The challenge there is that's a lot of regular average dudes. But the women that say, well, men do the same thing. I can't love a man. I can't trust a man because they break my heart. Yeah, but you're all dating the same ones, the same top 10 or 15% of them. So of course they can't love you. They've got too many other choices. But if you, quote unquote, settled for a man on your same level, then he probably would love you and you could probably love him. But that's not good enough for women. They say changing relationships led by women. This validates everything we've said. It is women that determine what kind of dating market it will be, and men will respond to it. Well, women are changing it, and men are responding by saying, I'm not going to fall in love with you or get married or be serious. The story we've heard over and over, whether it's in the media or scientific studies, is that monogamy somehow comes more easily to women. And then we've also been told that for men, it's quite natural to be promiscuous, to want to spread their seed and to want to basically have sex with anything that isn't nailed down. But in the past decade, research is telling us a new story about male and female sexuality. There have been at least 6 longitudinal studies, in total tens of thousands of adults in a range of adults from 18 to 70, which have showed consistently that in a long-term committed exclusive relationship, women stop wanting to have sex in years 1 to 4. I'm going to read this again for you slowly. Women stop wanting to sleep with their men in years 1 to 4. This is why divorce and the 7-year itch happens in 5, 6, 7 years, or the cheating happens because she's lost the tingles and lost the butterflies and she's not excited anymore. And now she needs to seek out that excitement of the new partner. They say, but in men, these long-term exclusive relationships are pretty happy having sex with their long-term partners for 9 or 12 years without reporting boredom. There you go. Now, I don't know what the study link is. Let me see if it's just another story. BMJ Journals. What? Oh, no, this is sexual health research. What factors are associated with reporting lacking interest in sex and how do these vary by gender? Findings from the 3rd British National Survey of Sexual Attitudes and Lifestyles. This is a legit study, and it is basically being summed up in this article that I'm reading now. So women, overall, women end wanting to sleep with you and be with you from years 1 to 4. If you've ever slept with a woman or had a girlfriend for more than 2 or 3 years, this is the truth of it. So it's not men that want to bang anything that moves. Now, maybe they do if they're single. You know, a single guy will go out and do all the one-night stands in the world. But once a man has settled on a woman, as long as relatively she stays, not fat, and as they age together, the guys are happy. It's the women that want to bail years 1 to 4. Now, why would you want to get married? Because if you think about it, about the time she's getting tired of sleeping with you is about the time you've been married long enough and had kids that she can get spousal support and child support. It is a horrible deal. Now, marriage, guys are happy sleeping with their wives after years. It's the women that are out. And they say and Martin says it's not because women want less sex. They need variety. They need novelty. They need adventure. Otherwise, they get bored. It's the tingles. Wait, do I have a button that might work for that? How about this one? The tingles. There you go. They need the tingles. They got to have the tingles. where guys are fine. What we see consistently, repeatedly, is that for women only, long-term monogamy is predicting low desire, not because they don't like sex, but because it's harder for them to be interested in sex with the same person over and over and over. When researching her book, Untrue, why nearly everything we believe about women is wrong and how the new science can set us free, Martin discovered it was women who were primarily asking for open relationships. They were coming into therapists with their male partners and saying, I want us to introduce a third into our relationship. When she introduces the third, she's tired of you, and she's just doing this weird transition phase to get into the new one. And guess what? Guess what? She'd be tired of the new one eventually too. And then she needs another, and another, and another. And the more that we don't socially shame this, and the more that we make this okay, then the more this is going to happen. I got another link, see if it'll load. 6 women get real about what it's like to be in an open relationship. Spoiler alert, none of these women were the 5 women with one great guy. None of these women were that woman. All of these women were like, I just want one partner that'll pay my bills and be there for me and be my strength and be my shoulder to cry on. That's my boyfriend or husband. And then I just want to sleep with everybody else. Shocking. That's why these women love to be in open relationships. This is women, ladies and gentlemen. This is women. Good luck. That's all I got to say. It's women. Women are admitting they want the man with all the things. Women are admitting they can't settle for just one guy. They get bored. Women are admitting they're fine with cheating and lying and hooking up with old friends. And then when they say, why aren't men having relationships anymore? Why aren't men dating? Why aren't men trusting women? Why aren't men getting in long-term relationships? Why are just most guys wanting to be players? Well, this is why. And it's not men that started it. It's women that started the problem, and men's response is, I don't trust you, I won't love you, I won't support you, I won't get into anything long-term because I know what's coming. And the reason why I know what's coming is because all the other women that are finally, because they're not shamed for doing it anymore, all the women coming out saying, I want to cheat, I want multiple partners, I want to do what I want, and you're lucky to have me. Well, that's not flying anymore. So if everybody wonders why birth rates are collapsing and economies are collapsing and marriage and children and all this stuff, look at the market that women have created and then understand it is men's response to that market that puts us in the place we are today. By the way, as a reminder, if you're not on Locals, get over there today, betterbachelor.locals.com/support. You'll see this page. You can either, if you want to just buy me a beer, a cold beer, click on the give once. Pop me a $5 or a $10. I'd appreciate it. You can also do it on Rumble, obviously. Or you can click subscribe, either do monthly or annual. The monthly is $5, the annual is $50, but you can put an odd man out too and subscribe for a year, the next year at $3 a month, or you can subscribe for the next year at $36 a year, depending on what you want to do. betterbachelor.locals.com/support. It's down below all my Rumble stuff. It's always pinned down below this. But we watch football. We watch UFC Fight Night. Let me check when the next UFC is. I always forget to do this. While we're right here, let me see. Next UFC event is going to be this weekend. We've got Saturday night at the movies. And then Sunday, we're going to watch the Titans at the Bills. And then on October 26th, Saturday, 8 p.m., we'll be watching UFC Fight Night 308, Topuria versus Holloway. That's all free for you guys. That's all free. It costs you $3 a month to get football games and movie night and UFC fights that are pay-per-views that are very expensive. For you, it's $3 a month. And there's thousands of other really, really, really awesome guys over there that I think once you get to know and hang out with in the chat, you will absolutely love it. So come on over and give it a shot. It's a great community of like-minded men, seriously.